Testing. Testing 1 2. Testing 1. Testing. 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 Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it with your friends. Come on.
Come on. Come on.
It's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still troubled in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Get the answers to your questions because we speak that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your wealth. Keep it moving, spirit flowing, because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday, 8 and 9, and it's on.
Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show at night. It is the Sinclair Show on. Y'all know we on every place we could possibly get to be at. That's where we at, making it happen every single time we hit the airwaves. All right, that's what I'm talking about right there. First of all, I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions, comments, anything you're thinking about to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many of the things that you want to talk about. Each night we on the air to reach you, the valued listener. That's right. Y'all the valued listener. And you know what that means? That means there would be no reason for me to be up here if y'all wasn't up here. Check. Understand what I'm saying? I could be somewhere asleep if it wasn't for y'all. But we be doing this. We've been doing this for 6 years now, a minute and some change. And so I'm thankful for y'all being out there. We're going to get up here tonight. We got a lot of stuff to run through. Let me see who is out here in listening land. Who is the first person on tonight? What? Not the arch nemesis herself, Miss Nikki Carter. Glad to see you, Miss Carter. Then, of course, we have the long-standing, elegant Miss Gwendolyn Lady Elegance Pritchett, and she's sending y'all greetings from Rocket City, Alabama. Again, some of y'all be a little shady about where you're from. Y'all be putting y'all from them major cities, knowing good and well that you ain't from no major city. You from them little cities. So rep your little city. Let me see who else is up here. April Brown, glad to see you. Stephanie Tillman, glad to see you. Detective Pamela Black, glad to see you. Nigga, Carter, stop all that laughing. They go, my mama. Hey, mama, what you been doing all day? Yeah, you know I had to check up on my mom. Keep my peepers on my mama. Look here, people. We want to send a shout out to one of our valued listeners who was a tad bit under the weather, but old Treese is back in the game with us. So we're going to have to keep her in our prayers. Hopefully she'll do what she's supposed to do. But anyway, I don't see none of the dudes up here tonight. Man, dudes always late. But anyway, people, let me tell y'all something. We done had a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. And I'm going to tell y'all where I'm going to start. I know normally I will ask y'all if y'all want to, well, if it isn't the wonderful Miss Annie Moore, we are glad to see you, of course. Yeah, normally I ask y'all, do y'all want to start off in the deep end of the pool or all that stuff like that? I ain't even asking y'all that tonight because I'm going to tell y'all what I want to start off talking about. I want to start off talking about y'all folks down there in Georgia. All right. Nikki, you said typical dude behavior. What's up with the braids? Oh, my son taught me into getting them braids. Anyway, let me say this. My people down in Georgia, I gotta commend y'all. Give y'all a little bit of on-air love, because what y'all did was y'all decided that y'all was gonna step up and step out and go on out there and vote. And yesterday, in the great state of Georgia, y'all turned out and sent crazy Herschel Walker right on back to the house so he could play like he's a werewolf or vampire, whatever he said he was. I'm just saying. Because he was definitely out there on one. And he almost had some of us feeling some kind of way. What's going on, Ty? Ty Matthews, glad to see you. Nikki Carter said Georgia showed out twice. Hey, they did, man. I can't say nothing else negative about Georgia, because Georgia did what some of you other states refused to do. They said we just not gonna stand for it no more. That's what they did. And I am certainly thankful for that. Yeah, that right there. And it was a little close for a minute now. And so I want to begin by asking the question, what does it say about the American politics system when you have a candidate as irresponsible, as uninformed, as ignorant, as dumbfounded as Herschel Walker, who will go up there and say some of the most ignorant stuff? Let me see, y'all just talking to each other. All right, and let me say this other piece too. And I'm saying this to my Republican cohorts. Y'all know I'm an independent, and I encourage each of you to consider your next registration on your for your voting rights. I would encourage all of you to switch yours to independent. Therefore, and you can still vote for who you want. But when people don't know what your affiliation is, they got to come at you a different way. Republicans, they say, oh, every Republican gonna vote for each other. Democrats say all the Democrats. The only people that they really trying to figure out is the independents. So to all of you who are in listening land, I encourage y'all in the future, just change your voting registration position to independent. If you want to vote for the Democrat, you can. If you want to vote for the Republican, you can. But it keeps them guessing, and to some degree, it keeps them honest. Because then they got to try to figure out what's important to you, the voter. That's just my little nugget for the day on that. But this goes out to my Republican cohorts. I'm trying to comprehend exactly what do you all really care about? Okay. And I want y'all to respect the fact that I'm asking you in this manner, because you all don't care about what candidate you send up as long as you believe somewhere in the back of your mind that there's one or two issues that they'll vote on your side about. But you have to and should consider What in the Sam Blazing Hills is the rest of the things that they're going to be voting on? Okay, if you say Republicans are for or against abortion, they're against this, they're against it. Listen, I understand that, but you don't keep sending fools to Congress and to the Senate. You don't keep sending folks that you know is racist and bigoted to the Senate. You don't keep sending people that you know fundamentally, unless you are exactly like them. Because I'm going to tell you what I'm tired of. And I wasn't even going to get on this soapbox tonight. But I am sick and tired of people saying, I know that this person doesn't stand for everything that I stand for, but they stand for some things. If you're voting for someone who is a racist, someone who is a bigot, someone who is part of a hate group, you don't get the luxury of hiding saying, yeah, they did that, and I don't support those things, but there is some good in them. You don't get to do that. Because let's be clear, for all of you all who are out here for the pro-cancellation group, you know, the ones that find a way to keep canceling out folks that say stuff that they don't like. How in the Sam Blazing Hills is it that you can't cancel out folks that are racist and bigoted and spew hate that's in Congress, that spew hate that's in the Senate, that's in your local government? Every time you turn on the TV, you can see, or get on YouTube, you can see some video with some Karen in public that is spewing hate. Many of them have positions in your community, but y'all can't cancel them out. But you worried about canceling out TJ Holmes because he's sleeping with somebody he worked with. And we're going to talk about that tonight too, because y'all sent that in, and we will talk about that. But I'm saying this because I want you all to get it in your mind. Let the thing be the thing. And stop trying to fool America, because you can't walk up in church on Sunday with your Sunday's best on and be talking about you about to talk to Jesus and Lord this and Lord that, and then turn around and go out there and say, I'm going to stand beside somebody who has an issue with black folks just because they black, or somebody who if you don't want somebody talking about Jews, if you don't want somebody talking about Hispanics, if you don't want somebody talking about Muslims, if you don't want somebody talking about any other group, then you need to be checking everybody. We don't need any organizations that stand up for just one thing. Okay? We don't need the Anti-Defamation League saying anytime you say something about the Jewish community, we're going to rush in and we're going to cancel culture you out. Why isn't the Anti-Defamation League canceling out folks who do bad things to Negroes? Why isn't the Anti-Defamation League canceling out folks that do bad things to Muslims? Why aren't we in support of those types of activities? I don't have a problem with you standing in support of Jewish people. I don't. But I have a problem with the fact that y'all send fools like Herschel Walker. Y'all want to send him to Congress. Y'all still, some of y'all, not all, because many of my white brothers and sisters have decided that they ain't messing with Donald Trump, but it's still a significant portion of y'all that y'all don't care what that man has done. You don't care how ignorant he act. You don't care how he puts the country in danger. You don't care that this man got classified records at his house and ain't supposed to have them. Everything this man done said, his companies got found guilty of cheating folks. He got hundreds of small businesses that says he had them do work and didn't pay them. What does it take, white America, for you all to look in the mirror and say, there is something greater than the color of our skin that's important? And where is the Anti-Defamation League when all of these things is happening to black folks, Latinos, Asians, even poor white folks? I'm saying this to you all because I want y'all to stop running around here acting like you got blinders on. Thank you, JC. I want you guys to stop walking around here acting the absolute fool like you don't understand what's going on. And black folks, if we stop running around here spending money with folks that we got a problem with. Nike said they canceled out Kyrie Irving because he said something that was just so bad. But I want to know when they canceling out Brett Favre. I want to know when they canceling out all these other white folks that say and do bad stuff to black folks. And if they're not going to, then I'm going to tell you how you impact change with them. When you stop wearing their brands. Because if you really think about it, and this ain't even part of the show, and I just, since I'm here, I may as well be there. If you think about it, a particular shoe is only cool because we decided that shoe is cool. Really. If we went to Walmart and everybody said, man, these plain white Skippies is hot. And some entertainers and athletes start wearing them Skippies, you know what? Everybody be wearing them Skippies. But we ain't gonna stand together for that. And I'm not even alluding to the fact, should Kyrie have known what he was, should he have articulated better what his position was? Absolutely. So I'm not giving him a pass on the fact that he didn't do that. But if you're canceling him out, I want you to cancel everybody out. And if you're not doing that, then what you're telling me is we in the black cancellation business. Because that's what I'm beginning to see. I'm beginning to see that the only people we really canceling, the only people that we really going to get is Negroes. It's black folks. Why do I say that? Well, let's go on and jump into the first thing. I bet y'all say, I ain't know this dude was going to be on one this quick. ABC News pulled daytime co-anchors after revelation of a romance. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach, who co-host the GMA3, are temporarily off the air after a spat of tabloid reports. ABC News announced to staff members on Monday that the anchors TJ Holmes and Amy Robach, I believe I'm pronouncing her name right, had been pulled from the network's daytime show just days after their romantic relationship became public and turned into tabloid sensation. All right. Kim Goldwyn, the president of ABC News, made the announcement during the 9 a.m. editorial call saying that the relationship had become an internal and external distraction, according to three people who listened to her remarks. Ms. Goldwyn said the relationship between the two on-air personalities who co-anchored together was not in violation of company policy. She did not say how long the host would be off the air or whether or not they would return to the program at all, which is an offshoot of their network popular Good Morning America franchise. She also did not say whether they would lose pay. First of all, let me ask y'all this question. First of all, why we care who's sleeping with who? You don't care if 17 women accuse Donald Trump of some form of sexual harassment or some form of sexual assault. You don't care about that. But you care about TJ Holmes, a black news anchor who was sleeping with a white woman. You care about that. See, and let's be clear. Y'all. There go the big homie. Smith is in the house. Nikki Carter said, why take them off if they didn't violate the company policy? Absolutely. And let me tell you something. To my white brothers and sisters, I want y'all to process what I'm about to say. Here's the issue we have. The coach for the Boston Celtics, black dude messing with a white woman. They said it was consensual. Ripping them off the, hey, you got to lose your job. TJ Holmes, Amy Robach, black man, white woman, got to lose their job. MSNBC got two co-hosts. I can't even remember what their names are. They're on the morning show up there. They messed around for years. They was in other relationships. Finally, I think they wind up getting married. We don't care if they're consenting. I don't care what they doing. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I'm saying this because I want y'all to process what they doing. You're taking Negroes, black men off the air because of consensual relationships, but you're not doing the same thing to white men who mess with black women. Look at Nikki Carter that came through. Mika and Joe. If y'all watch MSNBC in the mornings, Mika and Joe used to be in separate relationships. They was messing with each other when they was on the show. They didn't get pulled. And as a matter of fact, I did my due diligence today, and they said when the information about TJ Holmes and Amy Robach came out, the show didn't lose views. They had a 20% uptick in viewership. So you're not taking them off the air because it was a distraction to the show. It increased the show's value. We ain't got enough stuff going on in America that we could be concerned about, and y'all worried about TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. That's a private matter that made it to the public view, and that's for them and they significant others that had to deal with. But you pulling black folks off the air. Black folks gonna get punished. That's what we see. When we see our Caucasian, our Anglo-Saxon counterparts in similar situations, they seem to keep their job. Dude in Boston, it was viewed to be consensual. He got to be sidelined. He was making $3 million a year. My understanding is they took $1.5 million from him. For the white woman whom he was in an intimate consensual relationship with, it started off consensual. Whether she said, I don't want to mess with you no more because my old man caught me. Let me tell you something. If all of y'all who out there creeping around, if your man caught you and all this and all that, look, your company ain't firing you. But for some reason, black men in America in entertainment, they got to pay a price. Look at the people who are paying the price for something that they do. You got owners who say slick stuff about black folks, and they might fine them a little bit, but they ain't taking their teams. But you got a player who watches a movie and says, I learned some things about myself in that movie and my heritage. And next thing you know, he got to jump through hoops. I will bring up Kanye West, but Kanye is on the edge of things. He's on the fringes with me right now. He's pushing the limits of what I can even say is freedom of speech, because he just put himself in some crazy positions. Then you've got other athletes who have voiced opinions, and we stomp them down. We take everything they got to teach them a lesson. I remember when Nick Cannon made some comment. Man, next thing you know, Nick Cannon, they froze him out. He had to go around and apologize to everybody who was Jewish. He had to take a trip over to Israel, I think. He had to do everything. Man, they had him out there bad. On the threat of you feeling this way. And mind you, what's wrong with black folks loving themselves? I don't have to hate somebody else to love me. Matter of fact, I don't have a problem with anybody who ain't doing nothing negative to me. And because I say I found out where I came from, when I took the ancestral test, I found out that I was 42.5%. Let me tell y'all the truth, because I know Xavier might be lurking around up here. He like to check you if you don't say your stuff accurately. So let me go up here and find the DNA 23 and me. But while I'm pulling it up, all right, so it showed me that 41.9%. Now I guess they done deep dived it a little more, but 35% of that 41% is British and Irish, 4% French and German, Scandinavian. Let me tell y'all something. When you know better, you got to do better. Okay? So I don't have to dislike somebody else because I find out something about myself and I become proud of that. I'm not going to let black folks make me mad about the fact that I have learned through my DNA resources that I have a heritage that includes my Caucasian brothers and sisters. Now, it still says I'm 56% black, so don't get it twisted. But I'm not going to, once I know better, stop acting a certain way or stop feeling a certain way. I can't say the same things when you find out that your DNA, that you are part of a group, you can't turn your back totally on that group. And I know we say, well, you black, you're black. Yeah, that's true. But I'm not going to erase what I learned. I got to give my British and Irish homies, I got to put some respect on their name. French and German, I got to put some respect on their name. Y'all might not feel it. Indigenous, I got to put a little respect on your name now. And I say these things because we need to stop allowing men of color, women of color to be marginalized and treated in a different way when something is exposed about them. Matter of fact, why y'all care? Somebody tell me why you care. Why do you care who on TV is doing what? What fool out here didn't think something was going on with somebody in Hollywood? There are so many allegations about the average entertainer that you like and love. We don't know if they're true or not, but if half the allegations are true, y'all done heard just like I have. Hollywood is alleged to be a hot mess. And so, before we go to the next little thing, I just want to get y'all to process in your mind. Stop allowing someone else to manage you into feeling negative about something that ain't got nothing to do with you. That's my view. I could look at them stones and say, whichever one of y'all is without a problem, without sin, or without a slip up in your life, go and reach down there and cast the first stone. But I don't think none of y'all be picking up stones. So stop giving certain entities the power to cancel out our people. Because if you take TJ Holmes off the air, we not turning to that channel no more. If you cancel out Kanye shoes, then I ain't buying Nike no more. If you say that if Balenciaga is putting up imagery with young kids in risque situations, we not buying Balenciaga anymore. They will get the message and stop doing it. Because believe it or not, many of you broke Negroes are spending your money on the very things. I said, I don't know why we care so much. Not my monkey, not my circus. Monkeys and circuses? JC said, but are we really going to stop? JC, I don't know if we're really going to stop, but I'll say this to you. If we were to be bold enough to say, I got other things to do with my time other than sit around and worry about who TJ Holmes is being intimate with. If I was to say that I'm not going to allow you to cancel out people of color because it's an opportunity for you to say, well, we gave that Negro an opportunity. Now we're going to slide somebody else in that position. Because I promise you, if TJ had been white, being that Amy is white, both of them would still be on the air right now. And it doesn't mean that they're not going to bring them back. But you show me a case where two white folks was in a relationship together and they X'd them out. All the examples that we see is black men who happen to be messing with white women. We're going to take them off the air. Now, that's not giving black men a pass. You should be able to be involved with whoever you choose. Matter of fact, I'm not promoting or taking away from it because I believe everybody has a right, and you should be picking somebody based on, are you evenly yoked with that individual? Not based on the color of their skin. Now, let me say this. I myself find brown-skinned women to be the most beautiful on the planet. But I'm not knocking somebody else that finds somebody who is outside of their race, who is beneficial to them emotionally, spiritually, is evenly yoked, and you can build something with. Because America doesn't have a problem with posting up movies and shows and skits that show a white man and a black woman in a relationship having little beautiful kids. That's no problem. But it appears that when we find out that there's a black man and a white woman in real life, oh no, we can't have that. We got to teach them a lesson. We got to teach them that if you mess around with white women, that you're going to mess around, lose your job. And that's because we, the people, we allow it to happen. Because you cannot watch Good Morning America 3. You cannot buy Nikes. You cannot buy Balenciaga. You cannot turn to that particular channel. If you start using your voice, and it kills me because we swear up and down we good Christians, Lord, I just want to let you know that I'm following you. But you ain't standing up for nothing. You will gossip about it. You will tune in to see the circus and the turmoil, but you won't stand up for nothing. Let's go on to something else. Well, I be done got mad. Let's see. Oh, here's something. I need to give y'all an update. Here we go. I told you all today about a story that San Francisco was in the process of sanctioning robots to use lethal force, and they had to do a secondary vote on it, right? Well, amid public outcry, San Francisco officials reverse course and reject police use of robots to kill. San Francisco officials voted Tuesday against a controversial measure that would have allowed police to deploy robots to use lethal force in extreme situations, reversing course after public outcry against that particular policy. The about face from the San Francisco Board of Supervisors came 1 week after the board voted to approve that policy. On Tuesday, the board voted to remove the text pertaining to robots and use of lethal force. According to Natalie G., the chief of staff for the board's president, the text was initially included as part of a larger ordinance aiming to approve San Francisco Police Department funding and use of certain law enforcement equipment. The mayor still has to approve the general ordinance before it goes into effect. We stopped the use of killer robots in San Francisco today. Renaud said the public outcry helped 6 supervisors fully appreciate the gravity of last week's vote and the numerous unanswered questions about both the ethical and practical implications of allowing a robot to determine when to use lethal force. I believe this goes to the greater theory that some folks don't mind the thought of indiscriminate bad cops shooting and killing innocent people of color, but they're not ready to test the fate of your friendly robot being able to use good judgment against a young white boy who may be out there doing crimes as well. Think about it, people. See what happens when you use your voice. We talked about this on the show. This was talked about around the country. It was talked about in San Francisco. And we questioned the logic of allowing a robot to use lethal force against a human. And at the time, they was all for it. They did put in fairness. They did have a couple of measures in there that made it so that it would take a high-ranking supervisor to approve that. But I can imagine that somebody, Pamela German, glad to see you. I can imagine that somebody said to a few of the people on the board of supervisors, what are you going to say the moment that one of those robots has a glitch and starts killing more people than the prescribed? I can imagine that maybe there was some hesitance, because what have we seen over the years, certainly in the last recent couple of years, whenever there is a white predator, a white fool that's out here that goes into a public place and starts doing a mass shooting, whether it's a school or any other place, what do we see? Magically, we see that law enforcement happens to somehow be able to talk a serial killer, a deranged white person, off the ledge, get them in the car, take them down to the station, and somehow justice gets served and they get to make it to the courtroom. Now, you will gun down a Negro male because he stole some chips and wouldn't stop running from you. Now, imagine that the playing field becomes a little bit more balanced if you just programming stuff in here that says, if you see an individual who is threatening the life or lives of a group of people, then you're going to program your little computer to shoot to kill with a high level of accuracy. Who are you likely to be shooting? That right there. So, for all of you who had the thoughts in your mind, I told y'all I would do a follow-up, and the follow-up is that they have canceled. Ain't gonna be no robots out there shooting folks in San Francisco now, at least that we know of. Now, you know, if for it to make it all the way to a vote, that means it's some people in the money-making side of them robots that are going to find a way to slide it through. But I just want y'all to understand, especially to my Anglo-Saxon comrades, that it looks suspicious when you guys start thinking about the outcomes to people who are non-people of color. All right? I'm just saying. I don't want y'all getting your feelings, because some of y'all are like, man, why is he tripping with us like this? All right. Let's go down here and talk about another hot topic for today. And the news today. We got James Key in the house. What's going on, James? Glad that you done joined us. It seems like 5 women are now suing Bill Cosby for sexual assault and abuse under the new New York lookback law. Says 2 former actresses on the Cosby Show are among 5 women who filed lawsuits against Bill Cosby in New York State Court on Monday, accusing him of sexual assault and abusing dated back decades. The 34-page lawsuit is brought by the actress Lily Bernard and Eden Tyrell, as well as Jewel Gittins, Jennifer Thompson, and Sandra Ladd. The suit names the defendant Cosby and the media companies NBC Universal Media, Kaufman Astoria Studios, and the Casey Warner Company, which together ran the Cosby Show from 1984 to 1992. The suit accuses Cosby of assault, battery, infliction of emotional distress, false imprisonment, and accuses the media companies of negligence. Each plaintiff alleges that they were sexually assaulted, battered by defendant Bill Cosby in the same or similar manner when he used his power, fame, prestige. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di. Let me tell y'all why I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling this way, Now, in fairness, let me read this. In a statement, Cosby spokesperson Andrew Wyatt called the lawsuits frivolous and denied the allegation. As we have always stated, and now America sees it, that this isn't about justice for victims of alleged sexual assault, but it's all about the money, he wrote in a statement. We believe that the courts, as well as the court of public opinion, will follow the rules of law and relieve Mr. Cosby of these allegations. Mr. Cosby continues to vehemently deny all allegations waged against him and look forward to defending himself in court. Let me tell y'all what I'm tired of. Tell y'all really, and I'm gonna say it, and I know some of y'all gonna get your pitchforks out, and I don't care nothing about their foolishness. I want to know, America, how are we creating rules that says, matter of fact, let me rewind that. Let me begin by this disclaimer. Anyone who is sexually assaulted, abused, if you have someone in your family who was killed, murdered, if you have someone who was taken advantage of by any person, I believe that everybody should be entitled to justice. That's the first point I want to make. Every individual who was victimized by someone is entitled to justice without fail and without reverence to whether or not their race, creed, color of their skin. And it doesn't matter who the individual is, regardless to whether there are what their gender is or otherwise. All of that being said, I am appalled at the fact that, man, they go, look at Mother Shepherd. How you doing? Glad to see y'all. I told you that's my armor bearer right there. She keep the wolves off my back. Let me say this to you all. You are allowed to go after someone whom you are alleging that in 1984, they did something nefarious to you. And let's be clear that this cancellation, this Me Too movement has emboldened many women, some who actually were victims, but some who have seen the opportunity to cash in with the cancellation culture. I believe that we exist in a society that makes it easy for people to seek retribution even if there was no crime committed. Think about this. Are we going to allow Negro Americans who came from a period in the 60s and 70s and 50s where Klan members and white business owners who happen to have a negative outlook about minorities were able to mistreat them? Are we going to go? Where is the law that allows us to go back and get the woman who told the lie on Emmett Till and bring justice for Emmett Till and his family? But we saying she too old, that you find no reason to go after her. Where is the law that has allowed Southern sheriffs who happen to have been on the wrong side of history in terms of their racial mindset? When are we going to, where is the law that allows a person who got killed in prison by prison guards? Where is the law that allows the black person who in the 60s was put in the back of a car and drove down the street by law enforcement? Where is the law that says you can go back and do that? Where is the law that says that a black woman who was raped by white men in these small towns that she existed from, who could not get justice back then, where is the law that does something about that? Hey, Mother Rouse, how you doing? Thank you. Thank you. That's what I want to understand. I want to understand, are we making laws? Nikki Carter, glad you put that statement. Nikki said, get them all. But I want to know, where are the rules and the guidelines? Where is the stomach of America when you start making, where are the rules you're going to create to make black people get restitution? See, I don't have a problem if you say, I created a law in New York called the lookback law. But I want to know, where in New York is the look back law for every time you had a dirty cop that was beating on somebody and falsely accusing them, or beating them until they confessed to something and you know they didn't do it? How many times have we seen a prisoner get out of jail that there are places in America that says, yeah, you went to jail because of a crooked cop, a crooked attorney, a crooked judge, but you don't get a dime for doing it? Where is the look back law for them? Because if black women in America can't get restitution from being assaulted and mistreated by white folks, then why is it that white women can sue Bill Cosby? And that's not saying that they shouldn't be able to get Bill, because I believe that Bill did some of the stuff. I believe some of them women went over there and shouldn't have gone over there in the first place. It's neither here nor there. I don't have a problem with you making it so that a court can decide. I got a problem with the fact that the restitution for the rest of America isn't there. Does the look back law support men and women who are incarcerated, who get abused by folks while they in jail? Where is that bill at? Nikki talking about Bill took it too far. I don't know if Bill took it too far or not. We're not going to relitigate Bill Cosby, because I'm going to tell you, I had a problem when some of the cases came out and these women says at 2:00 in the morning, I went to take Bill Cosby some documents for him to sign at his apartment downtown. I've got a lot of folks that work for me. I ain't never asked them to run me no paperwork at 2:00 in the morning. I just ain't done it. And so I don't think you get to, and let me say this. And as a counselor, I can tell you it is strange behavior for somebody to say that someone did something violent to me, but I'm going to go out to lunch with them and ask them, can they hook me up on a movie? I'm going to still be talking to them weeks and weeks and weeks afterwards. Does that mean that nobody was assaulted? Absolutely not. Does it mean that Bill Cosby is not a creep? No, he very well may be a creep. He looks, to me, somewhat, is my personal opinion, he got a little creepiness about himself. But I'm saying these things to you all because I want to know, America, when are we going to balance the scales? If you're going to let these women sue Bill Cosby, then I want them to be able to sue Bill Clinton. If you're going to let them sue Bill Cosby, I want you to stand up and let them get Donald Trump. If you're going to let them sue Bill Cosby, then I want you to tell me, when are you going to let them get, what's the dude that used to be on, when are they going, can they go back and get Matt Lauer? Anymore said that look back law was made for Caucasian people to use when they feel like they're entitled. Hey, I concur. That is my feeling as well. He called us more than a creep. Mimmy Mims said they want some of that chocolate pudding pop. I ain't messing with you, Mims. Every time I think you done came over to the more apt side, you got to start acting crazy. But this is what I want to know, America. I am not saying take the opportunity away from these women to get justice. I'm saying, where is the justice for the rest of America? Because I don't want you to tell me that the Matt Lauers of the world, that they don't get dealt with the same way. I don't want y'all to tell me, and I'm not defending Kales, but let me tell you something. Many of you who have been paying attention to the R. Kelly situation, if you were listening, you just found out recently the Chicago case got dropped, and it is alleged that they had people from the prison system flying in to illegally listen in on his calls and to transfer that information to, listen, my understanding is Kale's got a pretty decent chance of getting a new trial based on what the legal system had done. April said, get Stephen Collins from Seventh Heaven. He admitted to sexually abusing girls. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper for y'all. And to my brothers and sisters of the cloth, I know y'all gonna feel some kind of way, but let me say this, because I know somebody's thinking it. If you got a law that'll look back and let these 5 women go get Bill Cosby, where is the law that will allow every family member, every boy or girl who's been sexually assaulted by a priest, a bishop, a pastor, anybody wearing the cloth? You got the Catholic Church been paying money for years. But when have we seen the people who were doing, the predators that were using their positions with that cloth, when have we seen them go to jail? When have we seen how many black folks been paid? We hear about it in Catholics, but I promise you, we don't hear about enough of it happening in black culture, spiritual culture. So if you got laws that's allowing women to go back and get Bill Cosby's, I need to know, where's the law that is allowing everybody to get justice? That's my question. And I know some of y'all ain't feeling it. Some of y'all gonna be mad right now, talking about why did he had to go there? Because if you're going to get one alleged predator, get them all. You got men and women who sit incarcerated today who have done absolutely nothing wrong, but because you had crooked people in positions of power, many of them have gotten 2 and 3 strikes, 20 and 30 years. Where is the look back law that goes back and says all of the black folks who went before a judge who gave them 3 times the amount of time that he would a young white man coming into his courtroom for the same crime? Where is the look back law for them? And if you're not going to have a look back law for them, then I submit to you today, you need to leave Bill Cosby alone. Laws need to have balance. The law should say, if somebody assaulted you and you went out on a date with them 3-4 times after you allege they assaulted you, you don't get no, you get no recompense from that. Because it's too shady of an area. Where is the law that says if you allowed your 15, your 14, your 16-year-old daughter to be out there dating a 25-year-old, that you get to go to jail too? We're sitting back talking about Kales, and we got half of these young girls, mamas was driving them to Kale's house, dropping them off for weeks and days at a time. but they ain't in there. They out here making bread off surviving R. Kelly. They out here part of this culture of let's go back and sue. If you drop your daughter off at R. Kelly's house, you ain't supposed to get a dime. You supposed to get time. I know y'all tired of me. It's all right. I'm not even mad at you. Because if I was y'all, I would be feeling some kind of way too. But you better understand something. I have an obligation to speak what I believe to be the truth. I have an obligation to you all, to the general public, to differentiate between something that is beneficial to the masses and something that is strictly being used against us. And it doesn't mean that we are without ownership of the ignorance that we do. You got a lot of black folks tearing up black communities and ain't doing nothing but messing it up for everybody. We not talking about support for them. You all have long heard me say that if black folks stop defending black criminals in black neighborhoods, that the first thing will happen is the police will be locking them up, and you shouldn't worry about it. Many of you got a predator sleeping in your house right now that's out here hitting old ladies in the head, that's out here stealing boxes off porches, that's out here doing all kind of stuff. And we support it because we ain't gonna snitch. Every night I got the little network. And every night I get a little message from Ring where somebody is showing what appears to be groups of young black teens at 2:30 to 3:30 in the morning going around pulling on door handles, breaking into cars. You don't know where in the Sam Blazing Hill your son or daughter is at 2 and 3 in the morning while they out robbing, but they coming back home with all kind of stuff that they got in their room that you know they ain't got no job to buy. You part of the problem. And if they catch your son or daughter out there breaking in the car, let me say this, they supposed to shoot them. I know y'all gonna say, how in the world does he work for Jesus and he's saying that? Because I understand something. You don't have a right to take what somebody worked hard for. I can say it because somebody done broke into my vehicles before. And if I get up and go to work every day, your little bad son and daughter could get up and go to work every day too. And if you find yourself on somebody's property and you stealing and you taking and you breaking in their car and you trying to pop open their trunk and you trying to do something, you supposed to get whatever they give you. Stop looking crazy at me, because the truth of the matter is everybody don't rock with Jesus like I do. So you mess around and run on somebody who is undecided and they go ahead and put them bullets in them. I don't want y'all around here talking about when you got to put your black dress on. Woe is me. They shouldn't have shot my baby boy over a radio. Your baby boy should have been at home. If you was that concerned about him, you should have known where he was at. Y'all ain't coming back to the show no more, but it's all right. It is all right. I know it's difficult for y'all. Annie says she coming back. She totally agree with what I'm saying. That's my homegirl right there. And I need y'all to understand something. You don't get a pass on ignorance. Some of y'all mamas and grandmas scared to go into Walmart, scared to go to the gas station because there's somebody that look just like them out there robbing and acting a fool. I'm sick and tired of seeing my people in the middle of grocery stores and restaurants. Y'all videoing these fools fighting and acting the absolute, acting just as ignorant as they can. Y'all videoing it to get likes and clicks. Showing us looking like some ignorant fools out there. James said it's TO just died at LaGrange from stealing a car from the dealership, crashed and was thrown out. You know what? I ain't got no empathy for him. You out there stealing cars and you can't even drive. People, I'm tired. We not defending foolishness from white America, and we ain't gonna defend it from black America. Some of y'all don't care that your child is out at 2:30 in the morning, but you won't make them get up at 8:30 and go to church on Sunday. You won't take them out to a Bible study to learn something about their spirituality, but you'll let them hang out. And you say, well, I just can't do nothing with them. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. Call the police, let them come and go through their room, and let them go through all the stolen stuff that you know you didn't buy. You ain't gonna do that because you worried about it looking like, oh, I don't want somebody to say I'm a bad parent. Earth to you, you a bad parent. Oh, I just don't know how little Ebony got pregnant. Yes, you do. Because you didn't have no problem when you thought it was cute for little Ebony to be dating somebody that was 6, 7 years older than her. You was the problem then. What did you think Ebony was doing at 15 with a 22-year-old? Tell y'all something. Y'all better stop playing with me. So y'all, I rock with Jesus. So whether or not you like or don't like me, don't bother me. And if this bothers you to your core, then you go and look room to room in your house at 2:30 in the morning and see if everybody's accounted for. And that's what happens when you start kicking real men up out your houses. I ain't even gonna get on that subject tonight. I know next thing you know, Nikki Carter have the right-wing movement after me. Some of y'all don't want a strong man. You don't want him to help lead you. You certainly don't want him leading yours because ain't nobody smarter than you in your environment. But every day they locking up our sons and daughters. Every day they out here policing them, lining them up, giving them jumpsuits to wear and making money off them. Why? Because they're your best friend. People, look, I gotta go.
It's about that time, baby.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna holler at y'all next.
Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It's on.
Run it with your friends. Come on.
Come on.
So it's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair.